Pecha 71, Smiley Show production, and the Black Panther. So this is the week where I finally got my Smiley Show hard drive of old comics, and I've put them on my PC. And now I'm actually trying to figure out how to put them online, what kind of quality I want. So I was going through them and I found an old 3-page one. This is the first page of the original one. Pretty simply drawn. Panel 1, H bomb dropped. Thank you, Vegeta. It's funny because this is a follow up to a Smiley show that I don't have access to because it's like saved in an Art Rage file, which is like a PTG. So yeah, this who is Vegeta's favorite German? He says Hitler. Everybody goes nuts, and then it's just 3 pages of silliness that ends up in Ken and Vegeta starting a fist fight, which ends almost immediately. Yeah, this is it. It's literally they both throw a punch. I wanted it to be all like wibbly wobbly lines. It's technically a draw. No one goes down. No one wins. And yeah, it's like a surprise finish because it finishes before it should. Yeah, I use a 6-panel grid for the whole thing. So while I'm redrawing it, this is the like halfway through the new version. I've kind of added extra panels to mess with the pacing a little bit. I was going to change one of the jokes, but then it made one of the other jokes not make sense, so I had to just abort. This page I got into too fast to remember to change where everything is. I didn't put the panel lines in, but the first 2/3 of the page is still broken up in squares. Top left, top right, mid left, mid right. Vegeta looks a lot more like Vegeta. Ken and Ryu I should probably reference, but I'm not too bothered. Uh, yeah, it'll be a lot more clear when I do the actual finished artwork. What's going on in the middle of Vegeta and Ken punching each other in the face? It's just like a jagged panel break. Right, yeah, so I've been drawing Vegeta wearing his legendary pink shirt for a very long time, and I decided for once to actually look at his pink shirt. I've been drawing it wrong for as long as I can remember. Now I know how to draw that shit, so. I mean, a pink shirt's a pink shirt, but his is the pink shirt. So I went to the Cartoon Museum this week. It's a pretty small place, very close to the British Museum. It's a treasure trove of history. I saw some all kinds of things from Simon's cat, very recent, to things like centuries old. Worth the price of admission? That depends on how much money you can afford to spend on such things. So yeah, I did a quick sketch of Shin just because I had the whim. Uh, Fist of the North Star characters have a very kind of pronounced physique and facial structure, and it's something I'd like to know just because I'm a fan. So I did a podcast that was not only over 3 hours this week with the Mystic Moore, it was more like maybe 4.5, maybe 5. I mean, we're just talking, and we're talking about everything. We go a bit deeper on the race this week, like we didn't the week before. But the thing that really sticks with me is never mind. Black Panther. This is another race thing. Maybe not. It depends on how much you wanna bring it in. Someone asked me what I thought about this Ta-Nehisi Coates, the writer, his run with Black Panther. I hadn't read it, but the internet's where you go when you want free stuff. So it turns out it's not just the writer who's a big deal. The artist and even the colorist are all like industry veterans with like prestigious uh, accolades to their name. And I was aware before I even read this run that it's already been cancelled because that's the nature of like first print comics. Always has been. Hopefully someone will figure it out. So one of the things about Black Panther this run is it's pretty much an all black cast. And when you see the first white guy, he is a token white guy, and it's a very surreal experience when everyone is black in this comic, issue after issue after issue. And one of the main characters by far is actually the place, Wakanda, the nation, the ideal. Because, Wakanda's in the middle of a civil war and, everybody thinks they're doing what's best. And it's there's a lot of broad themes that are very interesting. Another thing that surprises me, but probably shouldn't at this point, is the graphic design of the comic is, well, honestly, I think it's outsourced. It's so good. I think I saw it. Yeah, Manny Medeiros does it, apparently. I've seen it. I've seen great graphic design in Marvel comics before, but it still kind of surprises me. There's so many themes in this arc that I can't really go into them, but one that I think of specifically is this idea of like national pride. Everyone from the king to the peasants is proud of Wakanda and proud of being Wakandan, and they want to do what's best, and this is what causes the trouble. It's quite interesting. And yeah, there's also some of the most outrageous racism I've ever seen in print. When one of these white dudes refers to the king as a kafir, which is effectively the South African word for, well, equivalent of nigger. So yeah, I had to wiki that because I didn't know. Steamed hams for the week, LA Noir style, not bad, not as good as the some of the previous ones, but a bit better than some of the ones I saw afterwards. Right, so what we're going to do next week? Smiley Show, finish the one I'm working on, get a little collection going on, print them, probably put them on Tumblr because Instagram's the wrong scale. And I don't want to scale them for Instagram because that feels like just like it's going to hurt me in the long run. I want to work in commission style, but that's nothing to overly prioritize. My secret project, just keep, muddling along with that. Daily sketches, got to make them daily. So I got to catch up with what's going on in the Discord with me and Mystic Moore. And the Black Panther run is, well, on the website, I'm reading them for free. There's like 3 more issues, so I might as well see how far it got. They managed to successfully start and finish one story arc, the Wakandan Civil War. And they've started a second one that seems even more interesting, if maybe a bit more what you'd expect from a Marvel comic. It's maybe more, maybe it's less interesting because it's actually about divinity as opposed to politics. Politics is a difficult thing to discuss in comics, whereas Thor's a god and all his friends are gods, and that's how it's been since like the 1960s. So that's just one of those things that you just take on the chin, straight up. Right, so that brings us to the end of Pecha 71, and I'll see you next time.